Well, good day, everybody. It's the 3rd of May, 2025, and it's Saturday. And I did a video this morning, and it was like after 2.5 hours, it was 30% uploaded. I was at home, and I don't know, for some reason the area I live in, the upload speed is like really terrible. And I was looking at another 12 hours of uploading onto YouTube. So instead I came here and I stopped the upload. I'm starting to make a different video, and I don't know, all the things I said. I threw away the cards because I don't want to carry these friggin' cards around with me all the time. And so I'm going to do another video. And then there was actually some different news that came out, and this news has to do very bad stuff. It looks like Israel has really done a massive bombing of Syria. You know, so much for all of that stuff that was going on before, and then Israel's already taking over a huge portion of Syria. They got the entire Golan Heights. You know, obviously there's going to be a big oil pipeline going through there. I've mentioned that already. You know, this was a deal made with Genie Petroleum, you know, and Dick Cheney and all those sorts of people. They've already talked about that. They talked about it right away when Assad left. So, oh, by the way, I'm having my lunch, as you see. It was, I normally would never do this. I normally have like one beer, but it was like, I don't know, it's like you have, you buy two or something, you get one free, and it's not such a bad price. The area that I come from, I think it's probably 8 rubles for a beer. You get 3 for 11 here, so I thought, I'll go ahead and do it, make a long video. It's just going to be a challenge of finding my way out of here. I'm not used to having 3 beers, you know. So people looking at me probably think, oh, this guy's got 3 beers. Pretty girls. Maybe they're looking at how handsome I am. But anyway, let's see here. Some of the other news that I put out is some really shocker news, I guess, in this past 24 hours compared to what I was saying yesterday. The United States is openly recruiting spies now for China. They're coming out and doing it in public. They even announced it on Fox News. You know, they don't call them spies, they call them assets. It was John Radcliffe himself. I think his name is John Radcliffe. I might be mixing that up with, when I was in a unit, we had a Sergeant John Radcliffe, so I'm starting to wonder, maybe it's the same guy. No, it's not the same guy. Anyhow, there's been a lot of people I was in the Army with, and then some officials, they have the same name, and I keep wondering, oh, is that them? Some of them I wouldn't doubt it. We had one captain. He was really, what do you call that, mission oriented. You know, he wouldn't care if you probably shot people and killed them, you know, to get some kind of a mission done. Say, oh, we'll, you know, find a way to cover it up later. Or if you can't cover it up, then he'll call you stupid, but he'd approve of it in some other ways. Real nasty guy. By the way, because of his nastiness, he became, what is it called, maybe aide-de-camp or whatever that is, of the commanding general. You know, so the worst people they get in the best, I guess I don't know, what is it, like the cream floats to the top? But let's get going here and talk about this stuff here. There's other footage as well. As you know, there's been a lot of footage. You see Zelensky's men going around and snapping up people off the streets and all that, but it's normally one person here and one person there, and I don't know how they decide on who they're gonna, you know, grab and throw them to the front lines, and, you know, throw them into the meat grinder. And what was it? Somebody, who was that called them cutthroats? But they're cutthroats. I think that was Medvedev calls them, you know, that regime, a bunch of cutthroats. Some really nasty stuff. But anyway, there's some film footage now, and the recruiters went into some place. I guess there's a large group of them. I don't know how many, maybe 10 of them, and they're grabbing lots of people, any young people they see, and they're just grabbing them, and women screaming and things, and they're taking them and you know, beating on them if they resist, and then handcuffing them and throwing them in vans to, you know, take them to the front line and die, you know, in the meat grinder. I put out a couple of weeks ago that this General Syrski, he said that he needs 30,000 new men every month, you know, to keep going, and it kind of tells you that they're losing 30,000 men each month. You know, the Ukrainians. Was it this morning that I mentioned, or sometimes, because like I said, I stopped this upload. Maybe I'll upload it again. I doubt it. I don't know. I'm just getting ticked off. I gotta jump on a metro and go somewhere just to do a video and start downloading it somewhere else, because my area is so incredibly slow. So. Anyway, you're wondering where I'm at. I'm right near the Galleria shopping mall. That's why you see a lot of people, and a lot of them are still wearing coats. This morning it was a little bit chilly, and I was wearing a thick shirt, and I was fine. I'm fine right now. Do you see that do I look like I'm freezing? I'm wearing a t-shirt. There are some people wearing t-shirts. I can guarantee you some of these people are a bit too warm. I guess when you get out in the sun, it's a lot better. It's a little bit, it's not chilly where I'm sitting. It's actually just fine. Matter of fact, I feel fantastic as far as temperature right now. And the temperature will get a lot warmer after I've had 3 of these. So, you know how that is. You know, in Germany, if you're sitting here doing this, and it's happened to me already before, people will march up to you and say, I don't approve of me being put on your film. You know, they don't want to be on a camera. They just do it they just do it because they want to be special or something. That's how you do it in the West. You know, you're victims. You're a victim even when you're not a victim. You know, and you know, you look and you don't see that here. You know, nobody's come up to me yet and said, I don't want to be in your film. So that's how that is. As far as they know, I'm not even filming them anyway, but I don't know. But like I said, lots of stuff going on. A major, I don't know if you call that a major war, massive bombing by Israel of Syria. And I guess from what I heard in one report, they're projecting already that there's going to be hundreds of dead people. And the hospitals are screaming for blood donors because they need a lot of blood, because lots and lots of wounded people. And Israel said they need it. They need to do that to protect Israel. And even though there has not been an attack, not from Bashar Assad, nor from this new guy on Israel, there hasn't been any attacks from Syria onto Israel for at least a decade, at least for 10 years. So, you know, but Israel calls this self-defense. And of course, Trump is going to back that up. Trump will back up anything that Israel does. You know, I don't know, he might come out verbally and be against it, but he'll never do anything about it. It's just like Syria. I mean, just like, just like Ukraine, and what's going on in Ukraine. You know, and Zelensky, people, oh, you're favoring Russia. And, oh, isn't that, maybe that's why that they just now, Trump has allocated, and he signed off on it already. Makes you wonder, you didn't even hear about this in advance, but he signed off $310 million worth of, maintaining F-16s. And at the same time, this is kind of strange. It starts to make you wonder. Zelensky has just announced that he's getting a lot more F-16s. And I tell you what, I wonder who that's coming from. Right in light of Trump signing a deal of $310 million for maintaining F-16s for Ukraine. Oh, but he's favoring Russia. So what has he given to Russia? What money, what help has he given to Russia? Zero, absolutely zero. So it's all just a bunch of mouth stuff. He's only just like acting like I'll tell you what, I'm losing a lot of respect for Trump. Look what's happening right now. So it's just a bunch of lip service and a bunch of show that he's actually, and makes you wonder that he's wasting a lot of people's time, you know, maybe he is reestablishing relationships with Russia, but at the same time, he's going to be sticking a knife in their belly. He's a piece of work, Donald Trump, a piece of work. I guess I have to say that right now. You know, and here we're all thinking that he's not such a bad guy. Look he's trying to establish peace. Trump doesn't want peace either, it looks like. You know, he wants provocations. He wants to provoke. He doesn't want maybe to look like the United States is doing it. Well, what about this big war that's now, or this massive bombing that's going on in Syria? Well, what about Trump himself doing these massive bombings 24/7, as he even said himself? 24/7, oh, the beauty of our weapons. He's bombing Yemen, killing lots and lots of people. I mean, I don't know how many. He's not killing as much as Israel. But, you know, Trump said, oh, that war would have never started if I was president. Well, he's talking about Biden. He says that every single day, multiple times, you know. Oh, I'm the peace president. Yeah. Yeah, it shows. It really shows right now. And also, he's putting these, what do they call it? The sanctions of hell. Sanctions from hell against Iran. You know, here he's, and Iran, of course, Iran has backed out of it, out of these negotiations. So Trump is doing negotiations with Iran, and it's supposed to be about the nuclear program, and it's supposed to be about Iran building nuclear weapons, which they say they are not, and there is no evidence of them doing it either. Gosh, a lot of pretty young girls. So how come I'm so old and married? Anyway, I should. Actually, this is not so bad. You know, showing all the. You know, you guys get to see a lot of the. Well, there's some that are not so impressive, but you know. I might have to come back here. You know, these cups are not quite so weak as some of these other ones. You know, so I feel like I can't hardly pick up a beer. You know, now they're putting them in these plastic cups all over the place here in Belarus. You know, it used to be a lot of places you used to get glass, and it used to be very frightening. You know, picking them up, thinking, oh, am I going to squeeze too hard? I'm going to, you know, spill beer all over the place. Just think if you've had 3 of them and maybe you get a 4th one, you know, you're going to have beer spilled everywhere. So. Let's keep on going. So, Trump wants to end this war in Ukraine, and he's saying, oh, it would have never started. Well, you know, I don't know, does Trump have control over all these countries? And you know, Trump likes to threaten everybody. You know, if you don't do what he wants you to do, but they're not a tyranny or a dictatorship. Perish the thought. You know, you don't do what I say you're going to do, I'm going to get everybody to go against you. It's just like what he's doing with Iran right now. The sanctions from hell that he just put on Iran, as you guys know, it's this. They're secondary sanctions for the most part. They've sanctioned Iran to the hilt already, just like Russia. So the only thing that's left is secondary sanctions, which means any country that does business with them, they sanction them because they've already sanctioned all these countries up to here. You know, you don't do what I tell you to do. You know, it's like, well, we're going to find somebody else to punish you then. You know, it's just incredible. And now you have these band of people. You have these countries. You have North Korea, you have Iran, you have China, you have Russia, and they're all like getting sanctioned to the hilt. And all together, they have a sizable enough economy, and they can start doing business together. Do you think they're really going to be suffering? You know. Gosh. So, you know, you get sanctioned crazy, and it's absolutely incredible. There's some guys watching. Hello. Yeah, so really incredible. So that's sanctions. Maybe they'd like to hear English. Always looking at me, staring here. So I mentioned Germany sending lots and lots of weapons. They sent 66 armored vehicles. I don't know what that means. Tanks like Leopards have turned out to be a huge flop, and you know, it's really strange. Why is it that mostly all the Russian equipment works really, really well, and most of this stuff from the West is just full of bells and whistles and impressive statistics, but yet they don't even work? And along with this, Zelensky, well, they banned the letter Z. I don't know if that's still in effect. So supposedly there's not supposed to be a letter Z there anymore. Wow. And so anyway, so he said they're going to be making their own long-range missiles now. I guess they're going to get a lot of technology from Germany. There's been a rumor that Merz is giving him everything, and Rheinmetall, you know, which is one of the main defense contractors of Germany, making their weapons. Apparently, they're trying to set up in Ukraine, but who knows what's going to happen. Gosh, I'll tell you, I should probably concentrate on what I'm doing instead of looking. And some girls go incognito. Look at these are nice looking girls. I don't know if they want to be filmed, but they're, you know, sunglasses. They got their hair up and, you know, making it so you can't see what they look like or whatever. So look, even younger ones, most all the younger ones, they all have long hair. Kind of a thing over here in Belarus. It's so ugly. It's so terrible. I guess when you get older, you see the older ones. You know, they all have shorter hair. The older you get, the shorter your hair gets, apparently. Does that work that way with men? Not with their hair, but no, I don't know. Anyhow, let's keep going here. Artillery shells. Oh, tens of thousands of artillery shells from Germany. Obviously, Trump is sending lots of stuff over there. He just proposed, was it a day or two ago? Look at this is all coming from one day to the next. So Trump said he's going to send $50 million worth of ammunition and weapons and things to Ukraine. He mentioned that a day or so ago, while he's doing negotiations with Russia and trying to get a peace going with between Russia and Ukraine. And I tell you what, I don't know how long Russia's going to hold out. I wonder if they're going to really start going up and saying, you know, what's going on here? I mean, the Iranians already said that. They said that Trump is not serious. I think that was the foreign minister. He just said that. I don't know if that was this morning or if that was, okay, some for young guys. There you go. But anyway, they just said that Trump is not serious. How come there's so many good-looking gals? Here. Gosh. Is it the beer? Is that maybe the beer is maybe the beer is making the women look better. Anyway, I gotta get this beer out of here. So I'm on number 2. I'm already probably acting a little bit nutty here. Another beer rant from me. But like I'm telling you, this stuff going on, I tell you what, Israel, I don't know. I mean, I don't know, a lot of the world is already recognizing that this guy, this Netanyahu, he really is a Satanyahu. How can you even deny that this guy is not possessed? You know, you hear about some of these people from history, like Vlad the Impaler and stuff like that. Well, this guy, he's far beyond. He's killed far, far more people than any of these ancient big, whatever, these, what he called tyrants of history. Far, far more. Well, the difference is that Netanyahu is killing innocent people. At least those people maybe in the antiquity, all these, even Napoleon or whatever, at least they were killing soldiers, you know, combatants. But Netanyahu, he has a lust of, and the Israeli military, unfortunately, it's very, very sad. How in the heck can that be? That they have this lust of killing children. I don't know. I was working, like I said to you guys at one video, I was working for doing on From the Other Side on the podcast there, and I was dubbing 2024 as the year of the war on children. But I'm telling you what, this is not stopping. It looks like we're in maybe the decade of the war against children. You know, not just a massive killing of children. More children are dying than adults. Children being trafficked. All of this stuff, and look at this, the grooming of these young girls of Pakistanis in the UK. And one of the things that I was mentioning in that video this morning is well, I should say that, you know, it's getting much worse against the AfD, Alternative for Deutschland, this party in Germany, and now they've designated them as an extremist group, and so that allows now that I guess that the intelligence service can infiltrate them, and they, I don't know, they're putting them right next to the designation of being terrorists. And of course, this came about because they're now the most popular party in Germany. The last I heard, it was 26%. So they're quite a bit ahead of the CDU-CSU that won the election recently. So they are really, really surging, the AfD. A lot of people are really getting pissed off. And it makes me wonder how can even the opinion polls, and what did Merz do? I mean, he's always been against against peace, and he's wanted to continue this and expand this war against Russia, and giving them, some of the worst weapons that Germany has, to kill Russians. And so what is new? So now, why is it now that the AFD has surged in the polls and the what do you call it? These girls are getting me distracted. Well, whatever I was saying, anyhow. No, mostly what I was saying is, well, why is it now that the AFD has surged, to be quite a few percentage points more favorable against the CDU, CSU, and of course the SPD has gone down and quite a bit, and it looks like what's going to happen, it's still not going to be enough for the Alternative for Deutschland. They're going to be sitting in the opposition, but you're going to have a very strong opposition, because what's going to happen, I believe, what looks like, is there's going to have to be a big major coalition. It's going to be very much like the other one. It's going to be, you had the SPD and the Green Party and the FDP all together, and I don't think that the CDU, CSU is part of that coalition at all. But now, it's not going to be a traffic light. They called it a traffic light coalition because it was green, yellow, red, and that was the color of those parties. So now it's going to be the red, maybe the Chinese coalition, the red and the black. So it's going to be the CDU, CSU, with their color is black, and the SPD, which their color is red. Normally those are designated as China colors, so maybe it's going to be the Chinese coalition. And I think the FDP is gone, and the Greens, I don't know, the Greens, where are the Greens at? I think they might be at 11%, in the Bundestag. So maybe it's going to be the Chinese, what I was going to say, the Chinese Greenpeace. No, I don't know. Obviously, the Greens party now under Baerbock and Habeck, they're now kind of the war party. That's very strange. So the Green doesn't stand for the environment anymore. The Green stands for the military. They're the militarist party. And of course, Baerbock, she was always saying now that, she wants to give Ukraine everything and kill Russians as much as possible. Gosh, a lot of knuckleheads in the world today. You just can't believe this stuff. Kill, kill, kill. I already mentioned in one video when I was in the army, it was like, you're processing in. One of the things, you're at the processing center. I don't think we even had our uniforms at the time. And you're sitting there, and then when the drill sergeant steps on the grass, you're supposed to yell out, some guys, what's this guy doing here? The guy, I don't know what he's doing. Maybe he's trying to listen in on whatever I'm saying. Anyway, when the drill sergeant steps on the grass, you're supposed to say, kill, blood makes the grass grow, kill, kill, kill. So, because I'll tell you what, a lot of men, if I do this more regularly, a lot of men will be watching my videos, watching all these young girls go by. A lot of them are way too young for me. I'm not really into that stuff. I guess I wouldn't be a big hit at the Epstein Island, I guess. To mention Epstein, remember I just mentioned, was it yesterday or whatever? It's highly, highly, highly unlikely that this Virginia Giuffre, that she killed herself. So it looks like they killed her. And powerful people. And like I said, I used to work for some of these kinds of powerful people. And if you do something they don't like, that they think, oh, maybe it looks bad on their career, something that you did or whatever, they really punish you. And it's not like they chew you out that much or whatever. They try to ruin your career. It's absolutely incredible. And that's what I meant by mission oriented. And these people, it's like, talk about narcissistical or whatever. Anyhow, let me keep going on the news here. Okay, so Trump is now giving $310 million of assistance for F-16s, and it makes me wonder, I don't think Zelensky said who is giving him more F-16s. I wonder who that could be. Somebody who also just said that pledging a whole bunch of money to Ukraine to maintain F-16s. That's a very difficult one to figure out. Oh, boy, oh boy. So, yeah. And I was, part of this video that I was doing today, and this was before I knew all this stuff, is that this tradition of Ukraine, it's turned out to be some kind of a tradition. And it was like this in Russia time, and I've heard about this. Absolutely incredible. You can give them absolutely everything, the Ukrainians. You can give them absolutely everything, and they will still complain, and they'll still say that you're against them and you're biased against them. And Russia, it was like that. And Viktor Orban is one person that knows about that. He just came out, it was yesterday, and he just said it. He said it exactly the way I've been saying this. I've said this in other videos, that he said that if you put Ukraine in the EU, if you allow them in the EU, and they're trying to fast track them, they're trying to look for a way to sidetrack Hungary, so Hungary cannot veto the accession of Ukraine going into the EU. And Orban said, if you let them into the EU is going to go bankrupt, and I promise you they're going to go bankrupt. I'll tell you what, I even made a video. What did I say? This big sucking sound, Ukraine, they suck the money. They're like vampires of money. They suck the money. They suck all the money out of absolutely everything. Everything that has any dealings with them, they suck the money out of them. And you have the front man, Zelensky, right now. And it looks like maybe he won over Trump, so he's starting to suck that money. I don't think Trump is going to be that stupid. But, they're already sucking the money out of Trump, They never give up. Trump said that every time he sees Zelensky, it is, gimme, gimme, gimme. Somebody even made a meme video about Zelensky. And, if you say, give, the word give, in Russian is, die. Дай мне, пожалуйста. Give me, please. Дай мне, пожалуйста. But they got this thing of Zelensky, and they got like 20 videos all going at the same time. Die, 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 die. So like Trump even said, Zelensky's going all around the world and he comes home with billions and billions of dollars. It's absolutely incredible. And now Trump is a victim of that. This is absolutely, how can we, I don't know, I'm sorry to be laughing, but this is the American taxpayers' money, well, directly, but it's everybody's money. All the money, it seems like the money of the world. It's a big sucking sound, and it's all sucking right into Ukraine. These guys are, I don't know how people can be so stupid. I don't know. Maybe Zelensky, like Trump says, he's a great salesman, Oh, I don't know. Oh, look, here's a girl that's over 30, I think. A woman. Looks very good still. Oh, more my speed. Get me out of here. Somebody get me out of here. All these beautiful women. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. Who's that from Singing in the Rain? I can't stand him. Anyway, probably going to be a girl watching video. Oh, there's a guy. And I keep forgetting to say, I keep forgetting his channel. I'm kind of in, he watches my videos. I watch his videos. Strangely enough, they don't really send that many notifications. But he's also a guy, and if you're out, he's in Grodno right now. You have to look at some of the comments in my last video. And I keep thinking, I'm going to write this guy's channel name down so you guys can subscribe to it. But anyway, he's also in Belarus. He's about my age. He's not afraid to be going up to these beautiful girls all the time. He said something about Instagram girls. And if you're watching, comment on this video. Sorry about that. I gotta mention your video or your name so that people can tune into that. Unfortunately, I'm absolutely positive you're going to get much more popular than me, because looking at beautiful Belarusian women is probably a lot more popular than some old guy talking about news all the time. You're an old guy too, I think. I don't know how old. Nobody's as old as I am, but anyway. So what else is in the news? Like I said, it's like, I don't know about Trump. I really don't know. I tell you what, I haven't figured this guy out yet. But here he's doing these negotiations with Iran, and then he stabs a knife in their belly and puts a whole bunch of sanctions from hell on them. Wow. She looks really good too. Wow. Terrible. Anyway, now I'm distracted again. But yeah, he stabs a knife in their belly while he's doing negotiations with them. And then the other day, I think it was Zelensky or somebody said something, and he said, oh, that's harmful. While I'm doing negotiations, you can't come out and say those sort of things. But then look at Trump himself. It's incredible. And it's just like, he's given all this money now to Ukraine. He's doing negotiations with trying to stop the killing, and yet he's given weapons and money to Ukraine to do more killing. And absolutely incredible. I mean, you cannot even discount the fact. So you wonder, where is Israel? Where is Israel getting these massive amounts of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of bombs to bomb and bomb and bomb to bomb Gaza? They say that there's more bombs dropped on Gaza than there is in the entirety of all of World War II, all by Israel. And now, and they still, it's like it looks like there's no end to the bombs that Israel has to be dropping, bombing, Lebanon, bombing Syria, and bombing Gaza. I don't know, I think they kind of slowed down. I think they bombed everything to smithereens already in Gaza, And what did they do? They sank that boat the other day. I haven't heard that much more about it. Or maybe that was last night. Maybe that's what that was part of maybe the video that I was going to put out that was never uploaded. And I think it was like there was a ship going to Gaza to bring food and things to the people of Gaza, because there's this huge blockade, as you know, and they're not letting any food or water or medicines come into Gaza. People are starving to death, children dying, and now I guess a new sort of a campaign. Israel came out and they looked at how many people are still alive in Gaza, and they're trying to determine how many calories a day that they need just to barely keep them alive. And that is the honest to God truth. They put that out themselves, and they said the only objective is to barely keep these people alive, to give them only enough calories to stay alive, the people in Gaza. So it's all blockaded. They cut off this Philadelphia corridor, so there's no way they can get anything or get to Egypt. And I tell you what, you want to talk about genocide? Oh no, but it's not genocide, because they're allowing them to have a certain amount of calories per day, barely enough to make them live per family or something like that. And who's going to distribute that? Who's going to make sure they get it? And what about water, Like I mentioned yesterday, and there's children, and they're getting sewage water. They're getting sewage water and they're drinking that. And these, like even children, they're afflicted with diseases that are undocumented. They don't even know these diseases right now, because these children are getting these because of the bad conditions that Israel is putting these people under. Wow, what a happy video. I don't know. It's just so much bad news. Wow, look at that long hair. I don't know why they're wearing a coat, probably sweating underneath there. Anyhow. Since I'm kind of getting away with this, I thought maybe some people would come and start saying something. Maybe some girls or some girl's boyfriend would come over here and beat the crap out of me or something like that. No, I don't think so. I think a lot of these guys are actually kind of, proud about how beautiful their girlfriends are a lot of the time. So, anyhow. The bad thing about this is a lot of you guys are watching this, a lot of you men over there, and you're probably drooling and things like that, and seeing, there's not that many fat girls, or ugly. There's not that many, most of them they have at least something cute about them, Unfortunately, that camera lens can't get all of this stuff, you can like the one that just walked by, it looked like some kind of average, but real nice face and all that. Oh, look at this guy, he's chewing his cud or something, right? Yeah! Da! Oh, some old folks. Anyway, there's old people too. There's a couple of them here. What are they doing here? They're destroying the bag. No, I'm just kidding. Hey, wait a minute, I'm old too. Well, anyway, let's keep on with the news. I'm getting distracted. According to Reuters, there's going to be new sanctions coming out. Trump is going to send out, I mean, this doesn't surprise me after this news that I'm putting out already, but apparently Trump has got a whole package of sanctions ready for Russia. And it's like, well, what is Russia doing? Is Russia holding up this whole thing? And a lot of people are looking at this and saying, well, what is Russia doing to hold up the peace thing? Russia is saying, we're willing to sign a peace deal. We're willing to sign it. We're willing to do it. And Ukraine is balking. I'm kind of thinking that this is just some kind of this is like some sort of a trick. And maybe Trump is actually really part of this global establishment. You know, and it's all obviously, you know, what is it? The Hate Russia Club. I don't really, I tell you what, I really don't understand this. He acts like he wants to stop the killing. Like I said, I didn't understand the fact that Donald Trump is very much in support of all the killing in the Middle East. You know, it's almost like he loves it. He loves Israel massacring tens of thousands of people, and the vast majority of them are children. And now Trump himself is bombing Yemen, killing a lot of people there. No mention of that. Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain. Look, don't look over there. Look over here. Don't look. No. Don't look there. Look over here. My God, you know. It's weird, you know, because some of these people are wearing like coats or whatever. See, there's a gal in a t-shirt. The next to the one is a coat over here. Anyway. I have to tell you guys, my wife watches these videos, and then I'm looking at all these girls here, but I don't go after these girls. I'm not like some kind of a sex fiend or something like that. But it's like going to an art gallery, you know. When you go to an art gallery, you don't want to go up there and you know, start pumping the pictures or something like that. So I just, you know, and a lot of these are young girls. I'm really not at all interested in that. I don't, you know, and I've met, you know, even in the past, even when I was like about 30 years old or something, you know, like young girls. Well, how old was this one? She was like 22 or something like that. And I couldn't, you know, a lot of these, I don't know, see, everybody's different. You have these young girls and they have this young girly, you know, personality and stuff, and it's just I'm not into that at all, to be honest with you. You know, but when there's you know, pretty young girls and they take care of themselves, you know, that's kind of nice. But I don't have any need to get to know them or anything like that, you know. Like even that, see the lady right there, you know, she's a little bit older. She's probably a hell of a lot more, I shouldn't say that, religious people watching here, but a lot more interesting to talk to. And it's not like I want to get anything from them either. So, you know, and I don't know, I should look at like men that are, I don't know, you know. Anyway, here I'm going off on these tangents. How long is this video already? Oh, it's not that long, it's 38 minutes. But I said, I wrote down at the time period, you know, when I first started doing this news in the morning, you know, and I look at news, but a lot of the stories have not really come out yet. So it came later in the morning, you know, about all of these bombing attacks on Syria from Israel. And I had already done that video, and then I got home and I'm sitting there looking at this stuff, and I'm thinking, I mean, so much news going on. It's like, this is incredible. And even some of the people that are reporting on this news, like John Radcliffe, openly trying to find spies to spy on China, to spy on their own country. And I put out, I think it was yesterday, you know, that it was in 2010, you know, China, they rounded up a lot of these people, you know, that were spies, and they executed them. They were spying for the CIA in China, and of course, and now the United States is coming out again, and they're talking about, we need to, like, be a spy, and because you need to protect you and your family, and it's like, well, so how does getting executed by your government after spying on them, what does that have to do with protecting yourself and your family? But, you know, I guess it's how you say it. It's not really what you say that's more important. You know, what is that song by Neil Diamond? It is not so much the words as such, but the way they were sung. You know, absolutely incredible. You know, if you're really young, that girl looks really good. Really cute young girl. She's probably, I don't know, 10 or 12 years old. Really cute face. Oh, here comes some young ones. Makes me wonder, how do they do that? How do they really take care of themselves to look really good? A lot of these young Belarusian girls. Anyhow. So what else news? What other news we have here? Oh, yes, there was 24, at least 24. By the time that I saw that, it was at least 24 air raids that Israel launched against Syria, and really devastating ones. People are filming them, like with all kinds of, you know, it's at nighttime that, you know, the flames and all that are showing, you know, like all over inside of maybe that was in Damascus or whatever. Lots of, you know, fires from the bombing raids going on, you know, and obviously most of these, I mean, it makes you wonder, how many military targets can they be hitting? They're not hitting, and they know they're not hitting military targets, just like the United States when they're hitting civilians and killing innocent people, you know, in Yemen. Oh, but you're not supposed to know that. You're not supposed to know that. Yeah, lots and lots of dead people. Hospitals are begging for blood donors all over. And, you know, a lot of people fighting for their lives, I guess, from what I've heard there. And I'm getting close to the end of the video. I still got another beer to go. I have to do it without you guys. I hate drinking alone. Anyway. Yeah, they're doing it to save Israel, even though there's never been, for as long as I can ever remember, there's never been any attacks launched against Israel by Syria. And I have to add to that, there is no evidence that Iran, really, it's only presumptions. And I would have to admit, it's kind of like strong presumptions that maybe the Houthi are getting some sort of aid from Iran, and it's also just presumptions that Iran is helping Hamas, you know, even if they are, or even Hezbollah. You know, what is it? I don't know if I don't like to use the word ideology, but of course they're on the side of these people that are fighting for their existence, you know, against the face of Israel and this terrible, I don't know, I'd like to call it Nazism, but it's Zionism, it's Nazism. They're the same thing. It's a really terrible stuff. It's the same ideology that's going on now. And in the video this morning I was putting out, that it's, a lot of this is for the same thing as old Adolf. Gosh, look at this, she's got beautiful hair, this girl and her guy, you know. If I film him, he might come and smack me, you know. More my age, that lady there. Anyway, but no, it's like Adolf. Adolf said, and the only main thing that they know for absolutely sure, like I said, I had a very famous professor that I learned from, and I even sat in on his lectures when I was not even assigned to the classes, because he was so fascinating. He was knighted by the Queen of England. He was very much admired by President Nixon, President John F. Kennedy, and lots of world leaders, mostly for his lectures. So he didn't leave a legacy when he died of books and things, you know, anything that he had written. I knew his wife. His wife was the counselor in the history department, and I took some classes with him, and a lot of time I did a thing where I did a research report for him, and I feel very honored when he said that it's the work that I did for the research, it's definitely above standard. So obviously I got a very high grade for that. And anyway, his name was John Bridgman, Jon Bridgman. I think there's even videos and things about him, maybe even on YouTube. And there's actually some videos about him. But they have a waltz, even still, I guess, in the University of Washington in his honor in the springtime, called the Bridgman Waltz. And so, you know, people show up in nice classical attire and they do a waltz. And one of his specialties was Germany, and that's kind of, in his classes, it's not like you really ever get to speak to the guy personally, because his classes normally are 300 and 400 students, even his fourth year levels classes, and normally in a fourth year, getting your bachelor's degree, you have maybe 20, 30 students in the class, at 400 level, but in his classes you get 300 and 400 people, and it's very difficult sometimes to get into his classes. You register for the classes when you get into the university based on your where you come in the alphabet. Like maybe if you're in the alphabet, and they kind of rotate it. Maybe your letter is from A to D or something like that. Maybe you register later, which means you're not going to get into any of his classes because everybody else has already gotten into those classes, and he's just fascinating to watch, and he's very, very versed in history. And I saw him a lot of times in the library, and he used to be I guess he was in the Marines. He was maybe in the British Marines, I don't know. But anyway, I see him in the library, and he moves really quick. His wife was telling me that he is he's full of energy. He even mows the lawn and things like that. And he like, I've seen him in the library, and he finds out these books, and he's poring over books and things. You're getting a really good education from this guy, and of course he died. At some. While I was gone, and it's one of these people that you really admire, and anyway. But just saying that, and a lot of the things I talk about sometimes about history it comes from him. I was a history major. I graduated with Golden Key honors, Phi Alpha Theta in the history department. Really high, had high honors, and I was very good in English literature too. And the professors wanted me to write things for them, like some Shakespeare and stuff. Anyway, I'm kind of a weird guy, but that's beside the point. That was my brag minute. Anyway, well, let's keep going here on this. Belgium said this is actually some of the big knaller, that's a German word, knaller news at the end here, that Belgium, I guess that means the European Union, they decided that they're going to take 3 billion, not of profits, not of of interest payments to the frozen Russian assets. They're going to take 3 billion of that, and they're not going to give it to Ukraine, but they're going to give it to investors that lost money when they, based on their own choice, pulled out of Russia. So they figured out a way to steal the money from the Russian assets. It's incredible. So that's actually big news. So they found a way to steal Russia's money that's held over there. And I don't know, Russia said they're going to look at that as being like criminal, and they're going to try to prosecute it, and blah, blah, blah. But when you have the Hate Russia Club and they run the entire system, it's, good luck Russia on that one. You probably lost your money. And I'll tell you what, they're just begging for a reckoning. And I think the reckoning is probably going to take place in Ukraine. And and I saw this, and I was just thinking about this myself, but I saw it, and I think it was some video, so I guess it's on video, and I don't even know where it was. I didn't keep a record of it. I can't write down everything, but some people are saying that Russia is going to be left with taking over the entirety of Ukraine, and what I'm kind of thinking of, Russia is going to probably, I don't know. I'm not saying I'm hoping this happens, but I don't know what the best solution would be. But Russia is going to have to act like they did towards the end of World War II. When Russia was losing so many people, and as you see now, Trump is beyond any shadow of a doubt. He's not on the side of Russia. He's not even neutral. He is definitely, positively, and there's no denying it, he is heavily on the side of Ukraine. And maybe he always has been. Maybe this is just a big game he's been playing. But I think Russia, the only recourse they're going to have is they're going to have to kind of play it like they did at the end of World War II. And you see what they did in World War II. They rolled over, after all of the hardships that they went to, and they were going with a vengeance against the Nazis. Gosh, she must have just come out. Look at him. Somebody did her face really nice. Anyway, but they're going to really have to start rolling over, I think, the Nazis. And I don't know, does the Nazis, is that going to include, you know, the ones that were the Nazis in World War II, which means Latvia and Estonia, Lithuania and all that. But I tell you what, if that actually comes to that point, you talk about the Suwalki corridor, which, you know, it's kind of like this area that makes it so that the land, the distance between Belarus and Kaliningrad is actually, you can look on a map anyway, you know, and if it really comes down to this, and this really comes down to a war, and as you see, NATO, it's not like they really want a war. They really want, they think that they're trying to get the United States to make a war against. Wow, look at good shape. There's a fitness club over there too, and she probably came out of the fitness club. But they want to make a war, or they want the United States to go to war against Russia, and they, you know, it's obviously, you know, they want the complete, what is it, a strategic, more than just a strategic defeat of Russia. They want the total destruction of Russia. I mean, to a point, I don't know, where they can take over, split it up into 40 countries, or 31. That's what I said. You can look up also online, you can look it up under Google. There's a guy named Gunther Fehlinger. And Gunther Fehlinger, he's the lead of the think tank of the expansion of NATO. And of course, he hates Belarus with a passion. I've already said that. He's the guy in charge of that think tank. And you know, you had the PNAC, the PNAC think tank. What kind of glasses are those? But which is anyway, there's these neocon things and all this stuff to take over the world. All this stuff coming from the West. This stuff exists. This is real, true stuff. I mean, you think you're talking about some kind of a knucklehead conspiracy theory stuff, but these people, they even come right out and say it, you know, which is absolutely incredible. You know, I start to think, am I some kind of a knucklehead? Am I insane? You know, like a over-the-top conspiracy theorist? But all this stuff, and if you see these guys even on videos, it's not even deep fakes, and they're coming out and they're saying all this stuff, you know. But anyway, Gunther Fehlinger, he wants to split Russia up. I think at least, I don't know if I keep mixing it up. Is it 30 countries or 40 countries? And he's already determined what their flags are going to be, where their boundaries are going to be at, and all that. And his most hated country is Belarus, because look at how we're suffering. Look at how the people here are suffering. There's no food in the grocery stores, and we all hate it here. And look at see this girl smiling. It's all fake. It's all fake. She's not happy. I don't know. And they have to come over here and free the Belarusian people, because we have firing squads. Nobody's allowed to dance in public. You're not allowed to sing in public, and all this kind of I mean, I don't know. That's why YouTube probably, you know, make sure that my videos don't ever really get broadcast too much. But I already made a video before, and I said there are people that are very good in Google, and I think a lot of them are against this stuff. And maybe if I can start maybe uploading these videos late at night or something like that in YouTube, and maybe then they'll like start spreading them around and all that. I don't know. You guys have been delaying me to get to my third beer. I don't even want to drink it, really. I can't. It's a waste. Anyway, but this video's about to an end. It's almost an hour. And, oh, look at that. Somebody dressed like Gretel and Hansel and Gretel. By the way, I used to live in that area of Germany where the Grimm's fairy tales were written. I lived not too far away from what was, you know, what they modeled as being the, I guess, the castle. It's there was Cinderella and all that sort of thing, and it was even by the town of I even forgot the name now, but where Jack and the Beanstalk sort of a deal is all that at. It's called the Main-Spessart area of Germany. You can look that up, and that's where a lot of the Grimm's fairy tales are written. It's very strange. I also used to live in Bremen. And, you know, they had, one of the Grimm's fairy tales was the street musicians of Bremen, you know, where they had the donkey and the dog and all that, and they got on each other's backs and all that, you know, wanted to be street musicians in Bremen, if I can remember properly. So, I don't know. Anyway, but I love Germany, and I hate to see it in decline as it is right now. And if I said in this video, I don't know about that they're now really going after the AFD, you know, and that's democracy, just like in Romania, you know, if the people like somebody, that whoever knows who's this establishment, the Soros people, and maybe Donald Trump is part of it. I'm starting to think that he is now, and but you know, he's probably playing some sort of a game and acting like he's not. I don't really know, but anyway, I don't know. The world's in trouble. That's what I'll just end it there, because I don't want this to be an hour. This will be an hour already, but I'm in central Minsk. So this should upload in a very short period of time. So whatever time it is now here in the afternoon. Oh, look at all these girls for you guys. Man alive. Gosh, you guys must believe. Look at this. I'm getting tortured. You know, all have great figures, long hair. So anyway, I know that some of the men will like this video. If not, anyway, make your comments. I'll appreciate it. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.